南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。We pay homage to our respected teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Good. So, way to home book again. Way to home book again. Page 14. We look at this picture. What do you see from this picture? What is your feeling about this picture? It's your turn to talk. It's your turn to share. Remember, interactive session. Man Wai Fun. You already unmuted. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, morning.
Yes, I saw the light can penetrate.
Yeah. The light from the sun can penetrate through the clouds, right? Yeah, good. Okay, who else? Okay, Laurie.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
I love looking at cloudscapes, and the thing that always strikes me when I look at them, even really full ones like this, is I always know that it's going to change.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it while it's there, because it's not going to be there very long. It will change.
Yeah.
It reminds me how beautiful it is to enjoy it while it's there.
Yeah.
And just know that it's going to be different soon.
Yeah. Impermanence. Yeah. Beautiful clouds always at Po Lam, eh? Always. Yeah. It's just so amazing. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Where did I take that picture from? Okay. Who else? This is a very rich picture.
Okay.
Catherine Cameron.
Okay. I can't see the bottom of the picture very well, but it's dark. I mean, there's light there.
Yes.
So you start somewhere on your journey, and your quest is to find something bright. Not your quest, but you're searching for that brightness, that purity, and in a way that picture it makes it so simple the way, because of the bright light.
Yeah.
Your journey is difficult, and there's many ways that you can get there.
Wow, that is a very nice sharing. Very heartfelt feeling. Yeah. You're really right. It's so dark in the bottom, right? But you can see those rays penetrating, and you can see the ray of the sun really penetrating through the clouds. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Mali and Tissa, raise your hand, please. Mali and Tissa. Don't speak in Pali, okay? Tissa, we don't understand Pali. Hi.
Thank you. I was going to say that there is always light in spite of darkness and clouds.
Yes.
So we have to walk towards the light.
Yeah.
Go home.
Be positive, go home. Yes. Go home. Good. Wonderful. Who else? Okay, Varsha, yes?
Good evening. So this, because this light is so low in the sky, it reminds me of when I'm on a walk in the evening, and I always feel so peaceful and relaxed at the end of the day, because the light is going down and I feel like I've done everything I can do for today. And that just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that that's the end of this day. I can just rest and reflect on if I had a good day, was it a good day or a bad day? And I like the light because I know it comes back tomorrow. So
Oh.
there's that, every day you get that.
Yeah, as long as we are able to wake up next morning, right? We never know. We never know. But as long as we can wake up next morning, yeah, we might be able to see the light again. Okay, Irene, thank you, Varsha. Wonderful. Irene, yes?
Okay, it appears to me that if we work diligently during our meditation, we can penetrate our ignorance and realize the truth. This appeared to me.
Oh, good. Good. Wonderful. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed you, Jeremy. You put up your hand too. Yeah. Okay, second chance.
I did.
Yes, second chance.
So, as I'm looking at it, it seems to me it's like the Buddha nature burning within, and that inner light, and like what was just said, that it can burn through all of the taints that we bring upon ourselves. And that the other thing that it's not really related to the picture is on this page in my book, the bindings are showing on this one single page. I looked through the other ones really quickly because I keep getting drawn to it. And I don't know, my mind started wondering about how we're bound to this life and this path that we've chosen. So I thought I'd throw that in too.
Oh, wow. You have the little one, right? Do you have the little one?
I do,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, yeah.
It's got 3 little string bindings in the middle, and it's only on this page that it's showing. So I just thought that it was interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. It's good. Anybody else? Interesting. Huh?
Feng King has her hand.
Feng King. Yeah, Feng King. Sure.
People, for me, it's a strong sun, just rising up, and it's full of energy. It's very, very bright, very powerful. And I got a strong feeling it has been a long waiting. It has been a long. Before the sun rises, the clouds are so thick and it's so dark.
Yeah.
The time we always get lost, not seeing the road, not knowing what to do, a lot of suffering, ignorance.
Yeah.
But luckily, if we keep waiting with patience, we can always wait and see the power, the energy coming back, see the light.
Yeah.
The best, if we could see the light, the energy rising from the bottom of our heart, then we are growing.
Good.
We are growing.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. I like this session so much. Good. Anybody else? Okay, Catherine Chen from San Francisco. Good. Good evening.
I see it's a big contrast. When in the middle, the sun is so bright,
Yeah.
but then you see all this dark cloud. I've never seen, even the cloud are in contrast,
Yeah.
Meaning you don't start to be equanimous on things. For me, my weakness is the way when I look at things, I don't try to be equanimous, equanimity. So we'll be those black clouds. And if I start to now, every day, every moment, then I will slowly move forward to the sun.
Good. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's good. Thank you. Wonderful. Anybody else? That's it? Okay? Yeah. The sun is always there. The sun has never disappeared from the world, from us. But it could be masked by thick clouds. It could be masked by beautiful clouds like this. And those clouds are just like what we talked about last week. Just like the dust in our eyes, right? And the dullness in our mind. And those dull faculty that we have, those are the clouds. And when we are so tied up with the apparent world that we live in, without fully understanding the really true reality of this place or of our life, then we could easily create those clouds ourselves. And even the sun is always there, but we don't see the light. We don't see the light. This is how I actually see this picture myself, is that brightness is always there. And I don't know whether you remember the Buddha talked about. He said there are 4 types of people. Some are born in darkness. That means when they were born into maybe not a very conducive living environment, not a conducive family, or born with sickness or disabilities, or very poor, or whatever, you know. And so life wasn't very easy. These people, they were born in darkness, but they continue to walk towards darkness because maybe they did not have any opportunity for them to change, or maybe they have the opportunity but they don't fully utilize it, or maybe they have the opportunity they tried to utilize but they couldn't utilize. Okay, so from darkness to darkness. And some were born in darkness, you know, poor family, maybe disabled, maybe broken family, maybe an orphan, maybe whatever, you know. But they actually started to actually rise above, and they start to walk towards brightness and to lead a very fruitful life, a very meaningful life, able to serve others and able to be happy and to be peaceful. So, and then there is the third kind, is people were born into brightness. People were born into family who are maybe very well off, loving parents, and you know, complete and healthy body, no worries, not poor at all. You know, born in a very peaceful, you know, peaceful, plentiful world, like what we were. Well, not I wasn't really, but now I am. Well, some of you were born into that kind of family or that kind of life situation. Were born in brightness. And then they start walking towards darkness because they did not fully appreciate life and they did not fully utilize any wholesome opportunities to actually to live a wholesome life. They abused that brightness. They did not treasure that brightness, and they did not appreciate that brightness. And
sorry.
Huh? Really? No, I didn't. Somebody mute me?
Yeah, it's me by mistake. Sorry.
Oh, when did I stop? Where did I stop?
Brightness.
Yeah.
Someone says brightness.
Brightness to brightness.
No, I haven't a third one. Okay, not fourth one yet. Brightness to darkness, right? Yeah, brightness to darkness. So the third kind is brightness to darkness. So didn't appreciate the life, abused all the opportunities, and didn't work hard, and they were born into brightness, but they started walking towards darkness, or they even went into addiction, or went into crime and gangs, everything, anything, or those people, really dealing with business in a very dishonest way, and they became broke and everything. So that is brightness to darkness. And then there is this fourth kind of people is from brightness. They were born into brightness in a very good family. Not necessarily very, very, very rich, but fairly stable, fairly wealthy, and so they don't need to worry about make ends meet. And then they have good education, they have good families, and then when they grow up, they actually appreciate their life. They are very grateful. And they are very selfless, and they want to help, they serve, and everything. So they are very happy, they're very satisfied with whatever they have, and they selflessness give to others. And this is brightness. And keep cultivating wholesome qualities, wholesome deeds, and keep cultivating generosity and those paramis. And this is brightness to brightness. So, the sun is always there, as I said. Even though we were born into darkness, but we could make our life different, right? So, if we start to see if we stop to just look at the apparent existence, the apparent world that we are living in, and start to see the deeper meaning of this existence, I think we will see our life in a very different way. We will start to appreciate more of our life. And but we are so trapped in seeing the apparent world that we forget that, beneath that apparent existence, the truth is down there. And it's also this picture is revealing. The truth is that it always in the background, but it is like so masked by all these apparent existence, apparent appearances. But the truth is deep down there. And if we could remove those clouds, the clouds in our mind, we could see the truth beneath it. So if we could see the Buddha nature beneath it. And so very good. So this is the passage that comes with it is, don't start craving to feel the way you want to feel. The more you start to want, the more you have gone astray. You are further and further away from the path to home. Okay, so how do you understand this passage? What do you feel about this passage? Don't start craving to feel the way you want to feel. The more you start to want, the further you have gone astray, and you are further and further away from the path to home. Jeremy, yes?
It makes me think of a time and life was just busy and hectic. And all I wanted for probably a period of about 2 weeks was all I could think and even say to Dana was, all I want to do is be able to meditate and not have to do all of this. And I was getting frustrated and getting upset, and I just wanted, that's all I wanted is, and then I had this exact same thought, is that I'm actually pushing myself away from the thing that it is that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
By desiring it so deeply.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. So you should have seen this passage last year, right?
Yeah, it would have saved me a few weeks or a month, yes.
But you won't have anything to say now. Okay, great, good. Thank you, Jeremy. That's a nice sharing. Great. Anybody else? Nora, yes?
I think craving is part of the reason we suffer, right?
Yes.
One of the causes.
Yes, yeah. This craving, right? This wanting to feel the way you want to feel. That's a strong craving, and then that brings on so much sufferings when you don't get it. But when you get it, you don't feel that you are suffering. You say, "Oh, nice," right? Yes, you don't feel it yet until you lose it. Then you feel it, right? Yeah, good. Anybody else have anything to say about this passage? Yes, Versha? Good.
It makes me think of words that you use very often, which is middle path, equanimity, and balance, which is so core to the practice. And this is talking about not being those words.
Yeah. But it's really very difficult, isn't it? To walk on the middle path and not to crave, or try not to crave that much, is really, really difficult. Yeah. I mean, this morning I had a very long meeting, and at the end of the meeting it was like, we started at 10, and at the end of about like 10 to 12, I said, can we stop? Can I go home and have lunch? I'm tired, I'm hungry, I have a headache, and I wanted to go, I wanted to finish this team meeting. I didn't want to talk anymore. It was like, it was so tiring this morning, just like that site meeting. And then my phone kept ringing, and I couldn't answer it, and just like this. At that time, I forgot to walk on the middle path, Versha. It was difficult. Okay. Oh, Wai Fun, yes.
Sifu, if we can change our craving mind, make it a difference, change our craving mind to make it a difference, such as you can't hear me?
I can hear you, no problem.
Sorry. That's such like if I got a huge craving on food,
Yeah.
I try to minimize it. Sometimes not on the middle way also.
Good. Take a deep breath. Yeah. No, not easy. Yes. Yeah. Good. Molly and Tissa. Is that an old hand or a new hand? Okay. Thank you.
What I was saying, Sifu, is craving or desire may mislead you from going home. Or if home is inner peace,
Yeah.
that can mislead you, right? The desires and cravings.
Yes. Of course.
And also, I think, if you have a good feeling, then it would be nice not to crave.
Yeah.
But instead, let the craving with the right effort.
Yes.
then you're generous and then you will achieve your goal rather than succumb to craving.
Succumb to craving. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, rather than
Yeah, yeah. But you also remember craving, desire. You say, oh, I crave to be a good person. And that is not a craving. That is not a wrong craving. That is actually a very, very wholesome intention. And you don't call that a craving. Okay, so when we talk about craving, there is always sort of like what do you say? Like a tainted mind. Then that is a craving, right? So if you are actually wanting to become to cultivate wholesome qualities, and that is not craving. Okay, so yeah, so don't start craving to feel the way you want to feel. So here is actually the main word here is feel. Don't start craving to feel the way you want to feel. Because the more you start to want, the more you have gone astray. You are further and further away from the path to home. How could we go wrong? How could we go into the wrong path just by wishing for certain feelings? How? Yes, Nora?
When I think of wanting to feel a certain way, that's usually selfish, right? You're wanting something for yourself, not for others.
Yeah, right, yeah. Very selfish, yes, good, thank you. Okay, Laurie and Mala. Mala, yes.
Hi. Yeah, I would have to agree. It is always ultimately, I believe, up to service to self or service to others. And when you fall into the trap of service to self, you can get very maudlin and judgmental and have all the hindrances happening.
Yeah.
But if you go into merit and you just want to create merit and service to others, then you're not so much in your head. You're not so much in your own suffering or craving.
For your own good, for your own satisfaction, right? Yeah, good. Yeah, good, thank you. Laurie? Unmute yourself. Teacher Laurie, unmute yourself. Yes.
Okay, so now I've already kind of lost what I was going to say, but I think I was heading in the direction of when I first read this, I would think of how when I was a very new meditator, I would get frustrated and I would want to have my meditation experience to be a certain way. And I would get frustrated. And then over time, I learned to listen to you, Sifu. And you kept saying, just accept it. If it wasn't a good sit, it wasn't a good sit.
Yeah.
And just accept it the way it was. And as soon as I started doing that, it made such a huge difference. So I was gonna go with the hamster on the wheel when you're always wanting something.
The hamster on the wheel, yeah. Keep running. Yeah.
And that's how it hurts you when
you it's like those monkeys jumping from one branch to another branch, just wanting to find more fruits, right? Jumping and jumping here and there. And so, how could feelings let us go down the wrong path? Of course, when we talk about feelings, yes, Versha, please. You just unmute them. Just unmute all of them. Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
But I think of the word when we talk about the aggregates and you talk about like feelings are a bubble, they're empty.
Yes.
So here the word feeling twice, and I think, oh, well, so so we're craving for something empty. We're craving for something that doesn't really exist.
Well, you can say that, but you really cannot say that too. Sometimes there is really pleasant feelings, and you say, "Oh, pleasant feelings doesn't exist," and people will think that you're crazy. Pleasant feelings do exist, but pleasant feelings are conditioned. They exist conditioned, based on conditions. So that is the truth of the existence of feelings. It's not that they are not there. They are there. I hit myself. Well, you ask Quark, right? He said, I really still cannot move my arm, He said, Quark, that feeling is not there. It's empty. He would tell you that it's not empty because it really hurts. But it's there because it's all conditions. It's all conditions come together that brings on such a pain. And what is the pain really? Which one is the pain? The shoulder is the pain is the pain, or the immobility is the pain, or the mind is the pain. So really, which one we can call it the pain?
If we're talking about physical feelings, then the problem becomes when this body is gone.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then what? Yes. I always say, Eva said, so if we talk about physical feelings, so when the body is gone or when death has come, so what's happening? What's happening? Then we don't exist anymore, and annihilation. Oh, I always forget how to say that word. Annihilation, whatever. You know which one I'm talking about. So the physical feelings, of course, feelings have two definitions, and one is the physical feelings, and one is the emotional, the mental feelings, right? And so, how could we go into a wrong path just by wishing for certain feelings? Well, if you start to look at people around you, or people in the society, people who are addicts, aren't they addicted to feelings? In certain ways, they are addicted to feelings, right? They wanted a high feeling, a feeling of, like ecstasy. So they wanted that drug. So that is the physical feeling. But there is a very strong mental motivation for them to actually go and look for that physical feeling. It has to be from that mind to push it. So that's why when one starts to crave the feeling that they wanted, and if they don't get it, then that's the problem. Right? So with drug addicts, you can see they spend so much money on this today and this hour. Next hour, maybe that feeling is gone. And then they start to want to have that kind of feeling again. Just like in meditation. Oh, wow, I experienced that sort of ease and peace and calmness and quietude and that lightness of the body as if that you can fly. I thought, wow, nice. So next meditation, you sit down and then your legs start to cramp up. Is that, where did that blissful feeling gone? Keep looking for it, keep looking for it. And the way it is, no, the way, I don't want this way. I want that way. Then your mind is out of balance. Your mind is out of balance. And so that is how it can actually lead you astray. It confuses you, it deludes you, or you're deluded, you're confused, you're all masked by the thick clouds of that craving. Okay, so as you remember how many types of feelings there are. How many types? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many? 7? 6? 3? Yes. Okay. 3. First one is pleasant feeling, right? Yes. Second one is definitely unpleasant feeling, right? Third one is in between, is called neutral feeling, right? So 3 kind of feelings, different kind of feelings. And the Buddha said, how should you actually start to dwell in the contemplation of these feelings, in experiencing these feelings? And the monk said, well, now I have an agreeable feeling, or I have a disagreeable feeling, or I have an indifferent feeling, or now I have a worldly agreeable feeling, or I have an unworldly agreeable feeling, or I have a worldly disagreeable feeling, or I have an unworldly disagreeable feeling. So what is this worldly and unworldly, agreeable or disagreeable feeling? What do you understand by this? Worldly and unworldly. Nobody? Nobody? Jeremy, yes?
So I'm going to say that worldly would be like the pursuit of physical pleasures and experiences. And otherworldly would be the pursuit of higher pursuits, the mental pursuits or such.
Good. Yes. That's good. Very well. So agreeable and disagreeable, that means pleasant or unpleasant. And the neutral one could be deluded feelings. Okay? So, and we look at these feelings. Oops, sorry. Look, I'm still learning how to work with this kind of computer. This is very new to me. This computer, I haven't used it for almost 10 years, and I need to learn to use a PC again. But anyway, so this feeling, this word feeling, is part of our mental existence, remember? The 4 aggregates, right? There are 5 aggregates, right? But the 4 aggregates belongs to the mental aggregate. The feeling is part of it. It's one of the 4 aggregates, right? The feeling, the perception, and then the reaction, or mental volition, and then the consciousness, right? Remember? So, and then this feeling is part of the aggregates, a part of our mental existence. So when this feeling only arises when we actually encounter an object or experience, right? Yeah? So when you look at this, how do you feel? Or if everybody look at Laurie's picture, how do you feel? She's like a peacock with the white feathers, you know? It's so pretty. It's just very pleasant feeling there when looking at her picture there. It's very, very pleasant feeling. So that pleasant feeling only arises when your eyes encounter a form or a color. And the pleasant feeling of the ears or unpleasant feeling of the ears is only when your ear encounter a sound. And when you start to like that sound, you find it very pleasant. And then you start to like it. So it's all start from here, from all the senses. So we remember, if we do not encounter an object or an experience, then this feeling part is academic. You can say it really doesn't do anything. But when we encounter, and then this feeling part of the mind will start to kick up and start to work. Okay? So this is, the pleasant feeling will easily arouse what? Nice. I like this. Can I have more? Please don't go away. Stay close. Right? And if you encounter an unpleasant feeling, it's like, oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. I hate it. Or, ooh, I'm scared. What's going to happen? Or even angry. And when the neutral feeling, if there is something that actually brings on a neutral feeling, it could become very delusive. You just don't know what is it all about. It's like, so foggy and so misty and so hazy. And so why would I say, why don't I say all these pleasant and unpleasant and neutral feeling? Why would I say just craving to feel the way you want to feel? Because when we crave for certain feelings, and if we don't get it, that's the problem. If we don't get the pleasant feelings that we wanted, we may start to look for more. And when we crave the unpleasant feelings to go, and if it doesn't go away, then we start to get angry. We start to get frustrated. We start to get very stressful, anxious, even fearful, worrisome. Right? So whether it's craving for the pleasant feelings or whether it's craving for the unpleasant feelings, it still has a very detrimental effect. Agree? Yes. Yes. So it's actually, we need to understand this very aspect of our reaction to feelings. Our reaction to feelings actually brings on a lot of sufferings. Right? So, and the types of sufferings that the Buddha has mentioned, I'm just going to briefly mention tonight, is just the feeling about birth. The feeling about birth. Okay, when a baby arrives, the family would be very happy, so happy. But really, when, does birth brings on sufferings? It does, doesn't it? The moment we were born, we are starting on this path towards death. And if we don't realize that, that is going to be tough. And then the next one is aging. When we think about aging, when we feel about aging, it can cause a lot of grief. It does cause a lot of grief. I was just talking to Tan Sifu today. I said, "Oh, my knees are giving way. My knees are like feeling very sort of heavy and tired. Easily get tired. It seems that I didn't have that kind of strength anymore, and this is aging." And when I feel that knees, sometimes I especially when I do my prostrations, I need to be very focused and very mindful when I kneel down and I observe the sensations. When I get up, I observe the sensations, and that actually is a big lesson. It's a big opportunity for me to actually face aging. And if I don't like it, I would just think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do my prostration today. The knees are too tight, the knees are too tired, the knees are, so many reasons for me to give up that prostration every morning. Every morning when I started off, it's so that those knees. And I would think, oh, wow, aging is setting in, and I would in my mind I would think of a very a respected a monk I know of, and until he died, that actually they told me that before a week before he died, he still do 108 prostrations every morning. And he was in his 90s, and I always encourage myself, you are still very young when compared to him, so keep doing it. So this when we don't look at this, when we look at aging just on the apparent world, in the apparent aspect, then we can easily be trapped by it. But then if we look deep down, this is the way it is, isn't it? This is the way it is. As I always said to my dad when he was in his 90s, I said, well, he was complaining about his legs. He was complaining about his because he has stroke, right? Complaining about his knees and his foot. And I said, come on, Dad, you have used it for 90 years and they go rusty, right? And for the car, you can go and change oil, right? But your knees, unless you want to change one, but he said, I don't want to change my knees. I said, so, bear with it, right? You've been using it for 90 years and it has served you very well already. So I started saying that to myself, is my knees have served me 65 years and it has served me very well already. So just keep a smile and start to see that is the truth that we are going through. And sickness. Well, we are going through a pandemic, and we see there is sickness in the mind, there is sickness in the body. And of course, the worst sickness that we have to deal with is the mind sickness, the sickness to the mind. But here it's actually, it talks about the body, okay? There's physical sickness here. And then, of course, the types of sufferings, how can we not talk about death, right? So death, the separation. Death brings on separation. And death is actually, people think that death, you lose your identity. You become nobody. And that is very scary. That's why a lot of people are very, very scared of talking about death, and they do not want to face death because they are so afraid that they lose their identity. They become nobody. And with death also comes separation, and not really necessarily with death, but with a lot of things it comes separation. And separation is separation from the things that you like, from the people that you like, or from an environment that you like. for example, you're changing job, or for some of our inmate friends, they are changing prison. They may be like, I recently have an inmate friend telling me that she was going from a max to from a medium, and then from a medium to a minimum, and it actually caused a lot of anxiety because she wouldn't know, because she has stayed in the max for so long and she used to it, and she knows the routine and everything becomes so familiar. And when you go into some place that you are not familiar with, you're separated from that familiarity, right? And it becomes a challenge. It could become a challenge. So separation is really not just physical separation from your beloved ones, and also it talks about separation from things, from situation, from environment, from people. Okay, so it can cause a lot of grievance, and if you don't accept it the way it is, it just leads you astray. Okay, and then of course the next one is not getting what is wanted, right? I want this and you don't get it, and I don't want this and you get it. Okay, and getting what is not wanted, right? And that creates so much tension and so much grief and so much anxiety. And that could really cause a distraction and distraction and what else? Disruption of peace in the mind, right? It could easily lead you astray, easy. And of course, the last one is the five flames of the flames of the five aggregates. So these aggregates, you know that this is our existence, physical and mental. And if we do actually attach to these five aggregates, and we do a lot of time, and that could really cause so much suffering. And it's really not easy to disentangle. Really. You agree? Agree? Yeah. So, bye. So I'm just briefly, remind you about the different kind of sufferings that the Buddha taught us. So we start to look at these sufferings, and then we start to remember these sufferings, and when we are suffering in any one of these categories, we try to remind ourselves. The Buddha already told us. This all a part of our life, of our existence, but we don't need to suffer. And remember, I talk about that at the University of Toronto. Is the pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Right? Especially when we are sick, physical pain is inevitable. But mental suffering is optional. We have a choice, and we can choose not to suffer mentally. That's why the beauty of meditation is to help us to alleviate those sufferings. Okay? So, remember, being a Buddhist, being a student of the Buddha, we remember we are not actually craving for temporary benefits. We are actually looking, or we are actually practicing with an intention of alleviating or removing ourselves from all these sufferings. We are not seeking a temporary relief. We are seeking for permanent relief from these cycles of sufferings. And that's the beauty of the Dharma, is it is readily available for us to use. And because the Buddha has shown the way, and many teachers have shown the way, and we know it works. It's just that we need to keep working at it, practicing at it. Okay? So I just remember there is a song in the 60s. It's called Catch the Wind. I just bring out a couple of paragraphs. It's that in the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your loving mind, and to feel you all around me, and to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. So when you're looking for something outside to warm your heart, to actually to take your hand, it's just like you want to hold sand or wind in your hand. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. Okay, so it's just like sand in the hand. It doesn't work. So for us to actually as a practitioner, for us to look at this is, remember, anything existing outside, in the outside of our own existence, there is nothing we can do. There's very little that we can actually do to change them. There is very little that we are in control. They are just like the sand. You hold it, it just falls off from your hand. Or you try to catch the wind, you can't hold it in your palms. But when things do arise, and in the outside world, if they are not pleasant, ask yourself, how am I going to deal with it? Am I going to deal with it with negativity, with unwillingness, or I can deal with it with a balanced mind and look at it with an equanimous mind and see how I can disentangle myself from that suffering sooner. If I can't disentangle myself from the suffering sooner, then might as well just enjoy the suffering. Be with the suffering and not suffer. It's very, very difficult, because a lot of times we make those sufferings very personal. And it becomes extra difficult. And also when we start to look at whatever that is happening in the outside our world, outside of this body, really, how much happiness do they bring us? Or do they actually bring us more sufferings than happiness? Or how long would those happiness last? Look at it. And when if you start trying to push them away, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, if you try to push them away and not to accept them the way they are, you will know you are actually fighting it. And you will know at the end who is going to suffer more. You yourself, right? So anything outside or even inside ourselves, they are always constantly changing. In this is the definitely true truth pertaining to this existence, whether it's outside or inside. And if we trying to fight it all the time, definitely we're going to find ourselves constantly being pushed into the corners of sufferings. And if we start to actually look at it and face it and accept it, and we know this is just what you call? 过程, just a path that you have to walk on, right? And you just keep walking and keep dealing with it. And eventually when you come out of it, you say, wow, I managed to come out. I managed to come out. And I have learned a lesson. So and then and this is the way our life actually is to provide this path for us to learn, to walk on, to experience, to learn, and to grow. And eventually to learn something and to come out, for us, to allow us to come out from other things. If we do not learn this, there's no way that we can come out from those things. If we learn this, then we become stronger, so that we'll be able to come out from other things. Okay? So, yes, this existence is not easy, but we can make full use of these sufferings to actually to help ourselves, to look at our life in a very, very different point of view. But it doesn't mean that we become numb, we become limbo and we don't do anything. No, we try our best. And after we try our best, and if the result is not what we wanted, that's, well, this is what it is. I'm just happy the way it is. Okay, so this is how I see that passage and see that picture. All right? Cool. So, do a little bit of reflections yourself. Have you experienced this craving before? This craving for something that you want and you don't get it? And how did it feel at that time? And ask yourself, how long were you trapped in that emotion? So those are the reflections for your homework. Don't forget about these questions after 8:15. You need to reflect on it, otherwise you don't grow from this. Okay? Okay, we dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we, with all the other living beings, together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, understand them, practice them, and help themselves liberate from all the entanglements and be ultimately free and happy and peaceful.